Peace and bless YouTube. Welcome back to another video. My name is Tanya. Welcome new subscribers. In today's video, just want to show you all or provide you all an update of what's going on beyond the balcony. For new subscribers, beyond the balcony is an expansion or our main garden beyond the balcony. On the balcony is where we originally started our growing efforts, and we have since made the decision to expand, and I so affectionately refer to it as beyond the balcony. So in this video, I'm just going to give you all a walkthrough, show you what the garden's doing, the current state of affairs in the garden, and this may very well turn into a harvest video because I see there's some fruits that are ready to be harvested. So let's get into it. And what you're seeing here is a Chicago fig tree that I purchased several months ago. It is a transplant and it is absolutely beautiful. This is by far turning into one of my faves. Well, they're all my faves, but she is just absolutely gorgeous. She has done well holding up to the sweltering heat that we have and that we will continue to have. We are in the 90s, but with humidity, we're in like the hundreds. It's been a scorcher and more scorching hot days to come. Next week they're talking about next week they're saying that we're going to be probably in the low hundreds, which we've been in for the last week or so. So it's hot. It's hot outside, and the plants have been weathering the heat as best they can, and I have been watering every day. As you'll see, I have a container garden, and when you have a container garden, you have to water frequently because when they're in containers, the moisture evaporates quickly. So you want to make sure that you have consistent watering. So I have been watering every day. So this here is my little planter. I have started a second succession of okra here. This is an okra plant, and this here is what is this? This is a patty pan squash. And I also planted some jalapeno peppers in here. So I'm using this as a planter or like a little huge starting tray. And then once those get a little bit bigger, I will be transplanting those over into some larger pots. So let me take you all around the corner here, where most of the garden is. And we'll start here with my zucchini plant. As you can see, I have a zucchini that is ready to be picked. I have been very pleased with this plant this growing season. This will make the third zucchini that I've harvested off of this one. And I don't know if it will put on any more blooms. It looks like it's about to run it's on its last leg. But I don't know, it's still putting on new growth, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get another zucchini or two out of this one before the end of the growing season. So what I'm gonna do is harvest this little guy. As you have to bear with me, I am working with one hand here today. Cameraman is still in bed asleep. This is a Sunday, and I am out here on my own. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, the perfect time to come out to the garden. This here's my Jetstar tomatoes. As you can see, it's looking pretty good. Hopefully it will put on some more buds and produce some more fruit. I have been dealing with a major issue with all of my plants where they are growing, the buds are drying up. I don't know if that's due to water deficiency or if that's just kind of part of the process with the tomato plants. Early on, they put on little dry buds, just kind of dry run to get them started to produce fruit. I do not know. But that's some of the issues that I've been experiencing with my tomato plants. But overall, they look good. This is a black cherry tomato plant. As you can see here, it is growing profusely, putting on fruit. And over here is my bush lima bean. which is looking really good, guys. As you can see, it's starting to put on pods. I'm gonna allow a couple more before I harvest. And over here we have a black creme. We have two massive little tomatoes here, looking good. Hopefully it will put on some more flowers. And over here we have sweet banana peppers. I'm gonna step back so you all can get a better view. I noticed in a lot of my videos it's like I'm like right up on the plant, so I want you all to be able to have a little distance, social distance, right? So yeah, I think I'm gonna harvest these two banana peppers here. I've already harvested one, and it's putting on more flowers, so more peppers to come. Pick these two up. All right, moving right along. This is our cucumber plant that has taken on some disease throughout this growing process, and I have been removing those leaves as they present sickness to keep the plant overall healthy. But overall, I am happy with the production of this cucumber plant. It has done very well, and I see that I have 3 cucumbers here that are ready to be harvested. You do not want to allow your cucumbers to get too large because they can become really highly seeded. And the point of a nice sized cucumber is for it to have some flesh in it, right? You don't want to eat a bunch of seeds. Oops, that one fell behind. I'm gonna have to put you all down for 1 second, guys. Please have some. Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Had a little disconnection there. Tried to place you all in the flower pot, and I accidentally hit the off button. So this is really difficult trying to harvest with one hand. Nice size cucumber there. Add that. And we have another cucumber over here. It's ready to come off. Now look at that. Nice. And we have some smaller ones that are still baking, if you will. And over here we have a fatale pepper plant. This is a really hot pepper. I've grown this for, I guess this is the 3rd year now. So it's absolutely beautiful. Starting to take on some slight insect damage, but it looks good. It should be putting on fruit soon. And over here we have the big kahuna of cucumbers. I was waiting, guys, for this to kind of take on some more coloring. It's like, where you're chlorophyll deficient. But I think this will be all right. It's still edible. Really nice sized cucumber. Nice sized cucumber. Oh, as you can see, we have some more in there. I'm gonna let those get a little bit bigger. I don't know if you can see here. One there. We have another one. Step off to the side. So I'll let those get a little bit bigger. And over here we have a honey butternut squash plant. It's looking good. We have one honey butternut squash, and I saw some budding the other day. So more squash to come. Yeah, if you can see in there. So I have an empty container here. This is where I harvested the red Pontiac potatoes and the Yukon Golds. And I have one more red Pontiac. Now, about the red Pontiac, let me give you all an update on, if you saw my last video, on the issue that I had with the red Pontiac. When I sowed these seeds for the red Pontiac, the site that I used as a resource said that the red Pontiacs were a determinate variety which I have later learned are not a determinate variety. They are indeterminate, not variety, but it's an indeterminate potato. So here's the thing with potatoes. You have indeterminate and you have determinate. If it's determinate, it means that it has a short growing season, and when the potatoes grow, they grow on one level or one layer. So they grow out horizontally, okay? And it takes anywhere from 75 to 90 days for those potatoes to germinate, and they'll be ready for harvest. With an indeterminate potato means that they do not grow on one layer. They have to be, you grow them using the build-up or the mound-up method, which means as the stem continues to grow, you will cover all of about, I think all of maybe 2 inches of the stem. And what happens is that portion of the stem will put on potatoes. So as you continue to mound up, you'll continue to yield more potatoes. Essentially, you will yield more potatoes growing a indeterminate variety. And you will not be able to harvest until 100 or 120 days before the plant is ready to be harvested. So the issue that I had is I treated red Pontiacs like they were a determinate variety. So as a result, when I went to harvest my potatoes after 90 days, which I had exceeded 90 days, I had no potatoes, because that is not the growing technique that you utilize when growing that potato. And also, I did look at the leaves. As you can see, there's a lot of dieback on these plants. These look similar to the pot that I harvested last week. I did not wait for it to die completely. No, I did not. I didn't want to risk something coming out and digging up my potatoes, because I did notice with my Yukon Golds, they were starting to make surface at the top. So if I can see them, I know little critters can see them. So I didn't take a chance. So I harvested. But I just want to say something to you guys. Regardless, guys, if you all have an indeterminate variety, you have to treat it as an indeterminate variety in your growing practice. If you have a determinate variety, you have to treat it as a determinate variety. Otherwise, you will yield 0 when it comes to harvest time. You have to respect the growing technique. So these are red Pontiacs. They were sown as though they were determinate. I'm going to leave them in there until next month, but I'm not expecting to yield anything from this bucket, but a learning lesson. So check the box, lesson learned. This will not be my mistake next year. So just wanted to provide you all an update on the red Pontiac debacle. Okay, so moving along. Over here we have watermelon. This is a sugar baby. It is coming along really nice. As you can see, you got 2 watermelons on there, and it's starting to put on more flowers. So we're gonna have more watermelon coming. And over here is another cucumber plant. I may pick that one today. Get that out of there. I think I have a bigger one here. Another big one in there. See how yellow that is? I generally do not allow my cucumbers to turn this color. I generally pick them. This is still edible. I don't think it's going to taste too much different from the other ones that we've had. But yeah, you want to pick them early on. You don't want them to get all yellowish on you. Cucumbers are meant to be nice and green. So, but yeah, overall this plant is doing its best considering the blistering heat. They are holding up very well. I will be watering them after this video, give them a good drink. And over here I have an indigo tomato plant that is looking beautiful. It is put on fruit, and I think I'm going to pick some of these here. I was waiting for these to turn an indigo color. I kept some out here for a very long time, and this is the extent of the coloring. See that? But they taste really good. Really good. Just gonna want to pick a few there. And over here, we have the lunchbox peppers. As you can see, it's loaded with blossoms. More peppers to come. I think I spotted like 5 in here. So, peppers looking good. And over here is my eggplant. As you can see, I have an eggplant here that is ready to be picked. I really should have waited for my cameraman. I don't like having to have you all move all over the place. We're gonna make it do what it do. Voila. This is the Japanese eggplant variety. As you can see in here, I have a couple more. In about another week or 2 that will be ready. I'm gonna add that to our colander there. And this here is a habanero pepper plant that is absolutely loaded. Look, can you see there? This baby is loaded. Loaded with peppers. Looks really good. I harvested a couple last week and put it in a stir fry. It was absolutely delicious. The smells on these peppers are absolutely intoxicating. It's really good, so you can see here. So I'm very, very pleased with this plant. Actually, I'm going to harvest a couple. See 2 big ones here. Oops. There's one here. And the other one here. Guys, I really appreciate your patience. Me having you all over the place. I don't want you all to get seasick. I mean to get motion sick after this video. As you can see here, we have several blistering red tomatoes that are ready to be harvested. So some of these, I'm just gonna cut the vines because, no, I'm not gonna cut the vine on that one. I'm trying to find one where all of them are ripe. Not this one here. Cut the vine on that one. Put those in. And just pick a couple here. I'm gonna let the orange ones get a little redder. And just pick here. This is such a rewarding experience, guys. If you didn't start your summer garden, it is not too late. I will be doing a video on some things that you could start and still yield a harvest before the end of summer. But this, like I said, this is a rewarding experience to come out in the garden and to be able to pick the fruit, literally the fruit of your labor. There's no greater feeling. There really isn't. A plant that you have nourished and taken care of, and you know how it was grown. You know that it had no chemicals or harmful chemicals sprayed upon it. You know the life of this plant, and you know exactly what you're eating because you grew it. It really is just, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Harvesting your own food. Beautiful experience. And over here is my poblano peppers. As you can see, they are coming in. They are coming in. I got a little concerned. They were delayed starters, but they are looking good. Looking good, looking good. And these are going to be nice size stuffing peppers, so I can't wait for those to put on more size. And as you can see, my tomato plant has sprawled over into potato lane. Pepper lane. And yeah, everything's looking good. So in about another week or so, I'll bring you along and I'll be able to harvest some poblano peppers. And moving right along, I don't think I have anything down here. And this here is our blueberry transplant. we've harvested all of maybe a handful of blueberries off of this one, but this one's done for the season. And over here, these are yellow pear tomatoes. As you can see, they're still baking. They're not ready. And it's another yellow pear tomato plant back there. And over here, we have a pimento plant. Another pimento plant is starting to put on, as you can see, it's starting to put on buds. And my purple pesto is on its last leg. It's starting to bolt. And we've gotten a really big harvest out of this one. I made some really delicious pesto. Absolutely delicious. And over here, we have some more peppers. We have, I think those are, one of those is pimento and the other one is a xoxo pepper. And we have parsley here, and over here we have our second blueberry tree that is done for the season. And around the corner here, we have our Zulu pepper. This is my first year growing the Zulu pepper. As you can see, it is a black or a dark purplish pepper. We have one coming in here, we have one coming in here, and we have another one coming in over there. So this is going to be putting on some peppers for us. Probably about another week or so I'll come out and harvest here. And over here is our eggplant that is coming along beautifully. I'm going to come back out here. As you can see, something has tried to make its way in here. You see that? It was nibbling at the top, and you can see the claw marks on the outer skin. So I'm going to come out and put some insect covering on top of it to protect it from whatever it is that was trying to harvest lunch off of my eggplant. And I am not about to give up my eggplant. No, 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 no. And here is our ginger. Ginger is starting to sprout. And with ginger, you can expect growth within, harvest within 5 to 10 months. I think that's what I read growing ginger. So we are just starting to put on some sprouting here. And over here is my Amish melon plant that is really taking a hit with the heat. So I'm going to give it a good drink this morning. As you can see, I spied melon. I spied melon. Yeah, I spied melons. And that one. And over here, this one side is just, it's had it. So I'm going to go out, come out today after this video and do some pruning. Pruning for disease, prune for dead leaves. And give it a good drink, and also give it a shot of fish emulsion. Fish emulsion is a fertilizer that I use once a week to provide the nutrients that the plants need so it can continue with optimum growth and nutrients and be able to put on fruits until the end of the summer. Okay, and as you can see here, this is a zucchini. This is the easy pick zucchini. These are yellow zucchinis. See that? So we've got a couple coming in here. So putting on new growth as well. Looking good. And over here we have our okra, our Clemson spineless okra. It's looking really good, as you can see. Pods are starting over here. You see, we'll soon have some okra pods. I suspect by this week we should start to see the little okra pods here. I planted a second succession of okra. We absolutely love okra. So I'm looking forward to consuming a lot of okra. And over here is, what is this? This is a yam. This is an experiment that I did this season. It's a yam that I had on the countertop that I allowed to sprout. I brought it out, buried it, grew slips on it, removed the slips, and planted it back into the pot. So hopefully we'll yield some yams. And over here is my little herb bed, which is English, thyme, and rosemary. It smells so divine. I cook with it all the time. Okay, and over here is my little sage plant coming along. And over here is another yam plant. And over here is the garnet sweet potato. Same process, grew it for slips, planted the slips in a pot to grow some sweet potatoes. This looks good. And over here, another experiment, the yellow onion that I had, allowed it to grow roots, and then I brought it out in the garden. As you can see, it started to put on flowers, so that means there's an onion bacon under there. And here are my orange peppers. As you can see, I have one that's come in, and we have more flowering. So we're gonna have some orange bell peppers, or green bell peppers. You can eat them when they're green, but I'm gonna wait till they turn orange, okay? For a sweeter, milder taste. And over here we have the Kajari melon that I was getting a little concerned with, but as you can see, it is starting to put on fruit. I'm looking forward to this melon. Yeah, I'm gonna allow it to grow. As you can see, it's starting to reach out to the tree branch here. I'm gonna allow them to make that connection. I'm gonna allow it to grow in the tree. And over here we have jalapeno peppers that have started to put on fruit. So I'm gonna allow those to get a little bigger. I did harvest one last week, it was really good. So, yep, and over here I have a rhubarb plant. And I'm allowed to get a little bigger before I harvest. And over here we have a Kellogg's breakfast. This is my largest tomato in the garden. And like I was saying, you see a lot of the buds, they dried up, but I see it starting to put on more. I see more buds coming in up there. So there's still hope after all. So I don't know if that's just part of the tomato growing process. Just like a warm up before it starts to really get going. I don't know. And here is another garnet, red garnet, sweet potato. As you can see, I'm allowing it to vine up the stake on the Kellogg's breakfast there. So again, that's another experiment. And here are our aroma tomatoes. We had a huge issue with blossom end rot, but once I removed those and I fed them with some lime, because I really believe that they had a lime deficiency, and the tomatoes that have come in afterwards have been so far so good. See no signs of blossom end rot, which is the browning of the bottom of the fruit due to primarily uneven watering and a calcium deficiency. So got that problem rectified, so back on schedule with the aromas. And over here we have the black cherry, as you can see, starting to blush there. A couple of them starting to blush, looking good. See it? Putting on new blossoms at the top there. So this is going to be a producer, a prolific producer. And this is my Dr. Weechie, and I am Dr. Weich. I refer to Dr. Weich. As you can see, dry blossoms, but I am a hopeless optimist that I will have at least one. As you can see, one is coming in here. Actually, two is starting to come in. And there's some more buds coming in at the top, so I will have a Dr. Weich tomato after all. And over here is purple beans. I've harvested a couple off of those. I saw some flowering the other day, so it'll be putting on more pods. And over here is another Roma tomato. Again, it was experiencing blossom end rot. Hit it with that lime and fertilizer and got this baby back on track. So it's stimulating new growth. So, and over here is an okra plant, one of my second successions of okra that I planted. When I pulled my Yukon Gold potatoes, I just transplanted my okra here. This is the Clemson spineless variety. So we are going to be up to our necks in okra. Talk about a good problem to have. You can never have enough okra, in my opinion. Love it, love it, love it. And here is the San Marzano. This is a new addition to our garden this year, and it's looking good. Again, this too experienced some blossom end rot, so I rimmed it with the lime fertilizer and fish emulsion fertilizer, and it's back on track. And this is the second San Marzano. This is a paste tomato, so it's good for stews and things like that. There's one. Here's an example of the blossom end rot. There's, I don't know if you can see up underneath. There, you see the browning there. Yeah. I'm gonna pull that one off. And over here's my lemon boy. It's putting on one little tomato. Like I said, again, issues with the dried blossoms. For whatever reason, they did not push through fruit. I don't know if it's because of the heat, or it's just like a dry run that nature does with these tomatoes. I don't know, but it is still germinating flowers. So, like I said, I'm hopeful that I will have some tomatoes from this one as well. So it's like they go through a quick, I wouldn't say a false start, but a dry run before they really get going. Because on all of my tomato plants, I've noticed that there were dry buds, and then after that, they started to put on buds that actually started to put on fruit. So we'll see. And this here, I believe it's a brandy wine. No flowering on this one. No, this is a German tomato. No flowering as of yet, but I do see the buds here, as you can see there, that are starting to come in. So they'll be opening up hopefully this week, and you can see it with this one as well. These are both, this one and this one are both the German pink tomato. So we'll see. I will bring you all along. And over here is a Black Beauty. Black Beauty starting to put on new buds because the first set were all dry. And over here is a Green Zebra. We have two on the vine here. I don't know if you can see it. It's starting to get a sun glare. You see that there? Starting to put on two tomatoes. It had three there. I removed the other one due to blossom end rot. So yeah, and this here was a zucchini plant that is no longer, lost that one to disease. And over here is my yellow straight neck zucchini that has really struggled this season, but I am optimistic that I will be able to yield some more fruit from this one. As you can see, I have a squash here that is ready to be harvested. So I'm just gonna give it, just come in and put a clip there. There we go. There we have it, guys. This is it. This is today's harvest. I'm pleased, always pleased. It doesn't take much to please me. I'm very grateful for nature's bounty. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on in the garden this week. And I will bring you all along in the next video for another harvest and update. So, with that said, peace and bliss. Have a great start to your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.